Hello, Plannerettes. Just a little over halfway through the month. Are your goals still alive? Or have they quietly started gathering dust in your planner? Now, if you began October full of motivation, but now your goals feel a little bit forgotten, this live stream is for you because by the end, you'll know exactly how to reset, realign, and finish the month feeling clear and calm without the guilt taking over. So if you are ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Hello, Plannerettes. Welcome to our mid-month reset, October goal and habit check-in. I'm Mariane, and every week I help you use intentional planning to move from overwhelm, procrastination, burnout, to feeling a little bit calmer, clearer, and creatively inspired again. So let us check who is with us here in the live chat. And if you are new here, please type new in the chat so then myself and the Plannerettes can welcome you with warm, loving arms. And of course, if you are watching on replay, don't forget, I also love seeing your comments and type Team Replay. And while you're at it, please let me know where you are tuning in from. So before we say hello to everybody, tell me, how are your October goals going? I have a poll. Let me quickly have a look what the results is so far. I have, are they thriving? Are they surviving? Or are they hiding under some washi tapes? And I can see so far 8% of you are thriving with your October goals. Woohoo! Fantastic. Yay! 33% are surviving, but 58% of us hiding, our goals are hiding under some washi tape, okay? So please let me know, type it in the chat how your goals are going if you haven't answered the poll yet. So let us see who is here today. I see Life with Mama Bear. Hello. Oh, hello, Cindy. Hello, everybody. And Cindy is here. Life with Mama Bear. Hi, Marianne and Plannerettes. Thank you so much for joining. Elle, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. It is very nice to see everybody. I love it. I love it. And see, if you are new here, look at my wonderful Plannerettes welcoming each other. Brenda, hello. Nice to see you. Hi, Marianne and the Plannerettes. Lydia, nice to see you. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for joining. Life with Mama Bear is new. Hooray! Life with Mama Bear, if you are okay sharing your first name, please do so. We love to get a little bit cozier here in our Plannerettes community. I love it. I love it. Excellent. All right. So like I said, let me know how you are going with your goals, surviving, thriving, or are they sort of like buried in your planner and you haven't looked at them at all since you wrote them at the beginning of the month. And I'll check in again a little bit later on. So let me know if this is you as well. Now, I used to set beautiful monthly goals, or if you set your goals on a quarterly basis, it's all good, right? Do you decorate your page and then forget to check back on them until, it was too late? It's a new month. I tell myself I'll reset next month. That's always been my go-to in the past. If I'd fallen behind with my habits, my goals, instead of starting again from where I was, I'll go, oh, I'll wait till Monday, or I'll wait until the new month, or I even say I'll wait till the new year. And then, of course, suddenly 2026 will be here before we know it. But what actually helped me make real progress wasn't a new planner or a new layout. It was learning how to pause mid-month. Now we are just a little bit over the halfway mark, but it's making small adjustments instead of giving up on them, because hey, we still have 2 weeks to go in the month of October, so still plenty of time to catch up, even if you haven't done anything with the goals you set at the beginning of the month. So today I'm going to show you the steps I take as well as the planner printable I use. So let's quickly have a look. We have, hello Celia, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Hello. and big hearts. So happy to be here and catch another live. I always love that people can catch, because I think I moved the time because of the daylight savings here in Sydney, Australia. Hello, Siam. Lori from Florida. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I love it. Hello, Tamara. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. All right. So for me, I would have to say my goals are surviving. Some of them I'm, pretty consistent, pretty regular, which is fantastic. And some maybe, look, I'll start today, okay? It's never too late to start on any of the goals or habits that we have set for ourselves. So if you are planning along with me and you are doing a mid-month goal check-in or just a mid-month check-in of the things you have set in your planner, fantastic. Grab your planner. So I have currently a hybrid planner setup. They call it, I think, Franken planning. So because you're putting different pieces of planner pages and even like planner, accessories. So this is the A5 Hobonichi cover. This color lilac, I think, was from a couple of seasons ago. You may still be able to find this color somewhere on Amazon or some other, suppliers that carry Hobonichi merchandise. But it's the A5 cover with the cover on cover, so this plastic covering, so then your actual cover doesn't get all dusty. And then what I'm using is my A5, the Ultimate Planner Bundle Printable. So let me pop that on the screen in case you do want to check it out. So it has 5 weeks worth of planner pages that will carry you through the whole month. That has your habit tracking, mood logging, the goals tracker, pages for your well-being, your weekly, your daily pages. What else is there? Gratitude log, victory log, and of course, our mid-month and end-of-month check-in. So you can mix and match. You can print some of them. You can print all of them in one go. But the beauty of the Ultimate Planner Bundle Printable is you can use whatever you need for whatever season you're in. So what the pages I'm going to use today are my Wheel of Life Goals Tracker. And on the back of that, it has the mid-month check-in. So we will use this one. And then I will also use the Habit Tracker Printable that allows me to note down the progress I'm making with the habits and routines that I have set for myself for this month. So those are the pages I'm going to be using for today's mid-month check-in. Now you can also grab the habit tracker, the goals tracker. I don't think the goals tracker on its own has the mid-month check-in as standalone printable download. So if you go, I just want this page or I just want the other page, you can also do that as standalone. But when they start to add up, it's great to grab the Ultimate Planner Bundle because it's all in one there and it's all one after the other. So you can just print and go. All right. So do let me know what planner pages or what planner you are using yourself. So then that way we could go, oh, that's pretty good. I like that one as well. So regardless of what planner pages or planner size you are using, what I share here on my channel, the essence, the foundation, and the strategies, you can carry over to any type of planners you use. So it's really important that we don't go, oh, I don't use that, so I can't follow along. No, whatever planner system you have currently using or will change to later on, it still applies. It's just a matter of finding the space for it or the actual pages. All right, let's quickly double check again. I see more people in here. Nice to meet you. Yes, nice to meet you. And Mama Bear, look, my brain fog already has gone. Lydia, no, let me help. Oh, Life with Mama Bear, bear with me. Where are we? Oh, Laurie, let me write it down because, this brain fog of mine, going into my perimenopause life. See, when I write things down, I retain the information a lot better. Life with Mama Bear. So then that way I'm not stumbling over my words. Laurie. And then you know what? Here's a little tip. Side note, here's a little tip that I like to use when I'm trying to remember things is because I see L, life, with Mama Bear, I'm going to put L, Lori, life. See, try and figure out ways that you can connect their name to, if you're meeting someone face to face, some characteristics. So then it's easier for you. But I am going to put that over here so then that way I don't forget it. So yes, nice to meet you. Everyone is saying hello. Gloria, hello. I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, how are you? Thank you for so much. Thank you for so much. Thank you for so much for joining me. Is that even English? Love it. Okay. Hello, the perfect lump. Interrupted. How are you? First time here. Well, let us welcome you, my darling. Woohoo! Thanks, Celia, for cluing me in. Celia, thank you. I love that. See, sharing is caring. Now, the perfect plan. Please let me know, your first name as well, so then we can also get to know you a little bit better. Celia, thank you. You're so wonderful for sharing. All thanks to you. Oh, welcome. So, this is beautiful. Stephanie is Stephanie. Excellent. All right. So let me have a look at that one. So, the perfect plan. The perfect plan. Okay. But if I do say, your handle is either I've forgotten your name because, I have to retain the information and muscle memory. So Laurie uses A5, A7 and a wallet planner. I love that. I have so many different sizes as well. Excellent. Oh, I love it. Okay, so those are the planner pages I'll be using. Wheel of Life. I'm going to check the goals that I had set for myself at the beginning of October and review and have a check-in. But my habit tracker is the planner printable that I am going to be using to help me see my progress. Okay, so have a look. So the first thing we're going to do is review my October goals. Now with my goals, I actually use Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life methodology. So according to Zig Ziglar, have habits and routines for 7 key areas of life. Now, in no particular order, they're mental, physical, spiritual, home, finance, career, and social. Bear with me, I can feel a little bit of makeup brush hair on my nose, and it's tickling it. Okay, so in no particular order, you want to be doing a little bit of something for each area that nurtures those part of your life. So then that way you don't turn around either a month later or years later and go, I've neglected my finance, or I've neglected my home or my family, or I've neglected my friends. Now, it's not about being 100% perfect or doing, something for each and every of these key areas, but it's just a great way to help you create balance. So just as the name suggests, Wheel of Life, if one part of the wheel is flat, as in maybe you've neglected it for a little bit, then the wheel won't, turn around or function as well. And it's sort of like that's what the Zig Ziglar's methodology is about. Don't neglect too many areas of your life for too long because you're working focusing too much on your career, or you're focusing too much on making money, or you're not focusing on your physical and mental and spiritual well-being. So that's where I use my Wheel of Life methodology to create goals for myself. Okay, so as you can see, so at the beginning of the month, knowing that, the end of the year is normally a lot of things will start to come up, I made sure that I didn't put too much on my own plate based on my capacity, my energy. And so I didn't specifically create goals for the mental part of my key area of life, or the finance. Not that they're not important, it's just that I'm not creating specific goals that I want to commit to for the month of October. I'm still doing, for mental well-being, like reading and listening to podcasts, and finance, tracking my expenses. But when you start to create goals for yourself, because sometimes when we see new planners and 2026 is coming up, we feel like, oh, the planner says I have to go and figure out goals for my mental well-being. And then you set all these grand goals, and then, by February, you've fallen off the wagon, and then you start to feel bad about yourself. So if you know that look, I can only focus on 1 to 2 things at the moment because, so many things are going on in my life, then just focus on one goal. It's not the only thing you'll be doing, but it's the one thing that you will put more energy in, that you are tracking, that you are being consistent, that you're being regular in. Okay, so really important that for a long, long time, I felt like I had to be, have something for each area. So if you go at the moment, top priority for the next 2 weeks is my health, then only focus on your physical well-being. And the others, do something a tiny little bits and pieces, but you're not going to be forced or give yourself too much, uh, can't figure out the words, too much mental anguish if you didn't go and set them. All right, let's have a quick look. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. I love it. Wonderful to meet you all. And yes, Stephanie Joy. Can't wait to learn all that I can. Well, hopefully you can get lots of value from today's video. And of course, do check out the rest of my other videos and podcasts as well. So let's quickly have a look. So as you can see, let's quickly read through mine, and let me know if it's the same as yours as well. So like I said, I didn't do anything for mental. Normally that's, either read something or learn something or listen to podcasts. That's really, ensuring my mental well-being, my cognitive thinking is being used, because, I turned 50 at the beginning of the year. And so, of course, my 60s, 70s, and 80s is still a long way away. But studies have shown that if we are not using our brain, keeping it active, then there is, higher chance that in your senior years that, signs of Alzheimer's and dementia might turn up. So don't wait until you start losing your mind and forgetting things. Make sure you are doing something right now that's keeping it active. That can include Sudoku, word puzzles, crocheting, knitting, where you have to concentrate. So anything that's using your brain power is the mental well-being. For my physical well-being, I had written get outside for a walk, 11 push-ups and 11 squats, so tiny little, weight exercises, and then 3 workouts per week. That's one's questionable, but we'll go through that. Spiritual, I didn't set anything, but at the moment, I normally do meditation in the morning using the Headspace guided app. So again, that's not a main focus because I am keeping my anxious thoughts at bay. And so because of all the different other things that I'm doing for myself that are self-care, I am finding that those low moments, those negative thinking isn't as present. But I do want to make sure that I'm keeping my spiritual well-being. So for you, that could be reading your Bible, your scripture, if you're religious. So anything that keeps you focused in the now, being mindful. That's what being mindful is being in the present moment, not thinking about the past, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, or getting worried about the future. What if, and so spiritual well-being is also important, especially if you are finding yourself stuck in your own head and those negative talk and dialogue is, keeping you stuck. All right. So home and family. So for my home, 5-minute tidy up daily, because we only live in a small apartment. And if I'm not keeping up with just, 5-minute tidy ups here and there, then my little apartment will get cluttered. And I know environment also causes a lot of stress because, if things are out of place or out of order, that signals to the brain that what's going on? Why are things out of place? and so it can read that as threat or stress, and then that's when you go into your fight, flight, or freeze mode. Finance, like I said, we're pretty good so far. We got ourselves out of debt in 2017. I'm keeping an eye on that. I haven't been spending too much on stationery, so although I did spend a little bit of money on a tech gear, but we won't talk about that, okay? Career for me, of course, is my content creation, my YouTube, my printable download, my Plannerettes Inner Circle membership. So any of my income producing activities, that's like going live on YouTube, my Instagram printable sprint, so making sure I am, promoting my planner printables on Instagram, and of course my membership as well. And then social is very important for me. So social just means connecting. Okay, so connecting with loved ones, that's via DM, FaceTiming mum and dad and my brother and my niece and nephew and my aunties and uncles, right? Sending funny videos, anything that connects you to someone else. Because a lot of times loneliness, even though you're amongst your family and friends, but by not connecting with, humans are supposed to be part of a community. Hence, we enjoy hanging out together, right? Because that sense of belonging tells you that you are safe, okay? Because our prehistoric brain says we need to be in a group because we can survive and stay alive a lot better. And so that's carried over to this century, and our brain still works the same, that, that's why we sort of get, stuck on the notifications. Ping, oh, someone's messaged me, someone's liked my post, someone wants to talk to me, because we need that sense of belonging. Right? So really important that if you are feeling lonely, then when was the last time you connected with someone? And of course, real life connection, catching up with for coffee with people, dinner dates with your loved ones. Okay, so Laurie says, I turned 54 in July and I'm in full menopause. Brain fog and weight gains is my only battle so far. Yes, I've got my belly that's suddenly so much more difficult to try and get rid of, and so I'm working my way into ensuring, first of all, health wise, I am in good shape, but as well as making sure that I am getting myself outside, doing movement, and that's why physical well-being is of a top priority. So have a look at your own goals and the things to, ask yourself, what's working well, what hasn't happened yet and why, and what still matters for the rest of the month. So it's a good way to, check in on yourself and see what things can I do starting from today. And we've still got 2 weeks for the rest of October. So don't go and say, oh, I'll start that in November, because I used to do that. Or I'll start on Monday. But now I'm starting to learn, if it's a Wednesday, I'm going, all right, let's start again from today. It's a Wednesday. Any day is a good day to, reset and realign. We do not have to wait for a new page, new month. Okay, so really, really important. So before I keep going, I want to ask you, what win have you had so far for October? So just have a think. So you may not have even set a specific goal for this win of yours, but really important that when we are doing our reviews and our check-in is to note down the wins. Why? Because if you're like me, the past, you know what I used to look at? The missed days, the missed habits that I didn't tick off. So what am I focusing on? The misses, the have-nots, and then of course I should have. And so when we start focusing on the things we didn't do, that's what our brain will start to look for. So if you always have had the habit for a long time, that's me, and it's only recently that I've started to reframe my thinking, is I would go and look at that and go, Come on, Marianne. Last week, you didn't even do anything. That's what physically or my planner, I can read that off face value. It looks like I didn't do my habits. In actual fact, I was quite productive. I was doing a lot of work behind the scenes that's not on my habit tracker. Okay, so let me know, what win have you had so far in October in any of these key areas of focus? So for me, I've been quite happy that I've been getting myself a lot more than I did in, in August and September. So that is a win for me. Write it down, because when you start to write down a win, guess what your brain focuses on? The other things you did well. And remember, win does not have to be huge or major. It could just be, you know what, I've started drinking water first thing in the morning, or I've started doing 5 wall push-ups, or, got my 1 kilogram dumbbell out of the, the box, and then just doing 5, what do they call these? Bicep curls, whatever they are. Okay, that is a win. Just always note, wins don't have to be huge. So I want you to have a think. And this is the thing. If you can't think of a win, it's not that you didn't have a win. It's just you haven't built that habit muscle of looking for the wins. But tell you what, the more you do it, the more surprised you'll be. And one of my Plannerettes Inner Circle members, she calls them surprise blessings. So when things aren't going as well, because she's starting to note the, the wins of her days, she sees the little things. Oh, okay, things maybe didn't go as well, but you know what? This one did. So I love that. She says surprise blessings. Isn't that wonderful? Surprise blessings. Okay, so quickly, I see, let's have Stephanie Joy. See, I'm getting it right. Stephanie Joy has already put in a win. So I'll go check that in a second. So how do I know how well I've been going with the goals that I have set for myself? What I did in the Wheel of Life goals tracker is I set, as you can see, small actionable goals. Okay, it's get outside for a walk. And you know what I used to have? I would put lose 5 kilograms in the month, or I would be tidy up my home, like the whole house, or I would put for my career, make more money, or in social is like, it'll be like go for a dinner date. Make sure when you are setting goals for yourself, make it small enough, doable enough, actionable enough that it is so hard to say no to them. So if I had put here for my physical well-being, lose 5 kilograms, how do I track that apart from, weighing myself? And what happens when we weigh ourselves? One day it's, I'm here in Australia and we use kilograms. It's 2 kilograms more. And of course, if you are, exercising a lot, they say muscles, you weigh more than fat. And so, that is too big a goal to try and achieve. So create small, actionable goals, doable. So make sure they are verbs, doing words. So then you can actually track it. And I use my habit tracker. Now, all of this, by the way, are not like, goals and a lot of them are things I already do. It's just I write them all. So then what's called habit stacking. So then when I do one, habit, I know to do the next. So I think that's from James Clear's Atomic Habits. And I think the terminology is from someone else, but that's where I heard it from, habit stacking. What is it you're doing right now habitually that you're not having to, use your brain power for, and then you stack a new one on there. So let's quickly have a look. What are the wins we've had so far? Stephanie Joy says, I took care of a lot of my own necessary, yes, doctor's appointments for myself before insurance starts over in January. Yes, I did my check-ins and blood checks and found out my blood pressure and mild hypertension. So I've got that sorted out. And so, you know, these are sometimes going to the doctor could be a scary thing. It can create anxiety. What things might we find out that's not right? But it's important that if there is anything that's not going right, we can catch it early. So I love that. I love that you've gone and done all your necessary appointments. Laurie says, my goals of exercising, home life, finances are wins for me. I love that. That's yay! We've got to celebrate our wins. Yes, unfortunately, sometimes my goals are set in retrospect. Our future goals is to change that. There you go. That just little small mind shift, you know. So, and again, one small thing at a time. So I'm going to use my habit tracker to see my progress. And in the ultimate planner bundle, the back of the wheel of life is my mid-month check-in. So let me just quickly pop on, let's have a look. Let's do this one, orange for October. So I'm just going to put October here, so then I know this mid-month check-in is for October. I always have to go and say it out, or else I'm going to spell it incorrectly. Okay, October, there we go. And then what I do with my headings is I just like to use, I'll just show on the O, a black ink pen, or you can use felt tip, and then just outline the edges of each letter. So then it just pops on the page. It's fine as is, but when you also do have a planner printable that have, you know, black ink for the lines and writing, that just ties it in a little bit better. So just, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to worry if it's not actually, you know, at the edges of each letter. That creates its own uniqueness, you know. A lot of creative fonts that you can buy nowadays are the hand lettering style. Who knows? Have you ever thought of your own handwriting and creating it into a font? There are apps for that, or, you know, freebie things that you can create your own hand lettering as a font. So that could be something, you know, to look forward to. Something creative to look forward to is create your own hand lettering font. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to use, so not all of these are my, you know, the habits and routines that I have created. I have put them, so the first one is physical. So is my physical. There's one there. So go outside. I've got my 11 push-ups and 11 squats at the top, and then movement, which would be my exercise. Now, I'm going to nerd out a little bit because I love, you know, percentages, and I love, you know, seeing how many days out of, let's say, the 19 days I have actioned, you know, the habits that I had set for myself based on the goals. Now, this is not a test, okay? There is no pass or fail. I'm just using my calculations, so then I can color in my wheel of life pie chart. So here, the pie has the wheel has 7 pies, and each pie has sort of like 10 segments. So then it's just easier for me to color in, you know, out of 10 or out of 100 as a percentage, how many times I did the habits I said I wanted to do for the 7 key areas of focus. And then that number I am just taking, I'm not saying I passed or failed or it's good or bad. I'm just taking that number, so then I know how much of the pie to color in. Okay, so when a lot of people sort of don't do, and I didn't do it for a long while, mid-month check-in or end-of-month check-in or see progress, is because it sort of puts in front of your face the things you didn't do. But remember, we're switching and reframing our thinking. We are looking for the wins, and all we're using when we are tracking like this is to see our progress. How can we go and realign, reset, or pivot, or maybe even go, you know what, for the month of October, I've got so much on my plate. One of those things I'm going to drop to give myself grace and compassion and not put too much pressure on myself. That's all you're doing when you track and you see your progress, is to see how well you've done, see your progress. What is it that you can, realign, or what is it that you may have to let go? So let's quickly have a look. I'll be flipping back and forth. So get outside for a walk. Again, I'm just using a post-it note and my calculator, not a test, but you'll see how I go and see my progress. So get outside is here. And so all I do, I use the Zig Clean color dot marker. Okay, so one end is a round spongy end, and then the other side is a fine tip end. And depending on how much pressure you put on the page, you can have tiny dots, medium dots, or bigger dots. Okay, so that's what I use to track if I have completed that habit. All right, so let's have a look. Get outside. Out of 19 days, because I'm already on Monday the 20th, I'm just going to count the days I didn't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the walking, I did 12 out of 19 days. Okay, 12 out of 19, and all I do is check that as a percentage. 12 divided by 19 is about 63%. So we'll say 60%. Okay, we'll round up or round down just because I know there's 10 here, 10 little segments, and then I can color that in. What else did I say for my physical? 11 push-ups and 11 squats. So the push-ups that I do, ideally they say really you should be able to do 11 for women, so then to keep your core and strength and, making sure you are doing strength training and weights to keep your core muscles strong. So then in your later years, because of course they say when you're in your 70s and 80s, when you have a fall, it's, and you're not strong enough, it's hard to recover from that. So while we are young, while we are able, while we are still nimble, try and do strength and weights and training. So then that way, and if these are not like your big barbells and your big weights, just, your own weights. So push-ups, squats, the dips on your chair or whatever it is. And so I do a lot of them on my knees, or if you're not able to do that yet, wall push-ups. Okay, that just starts to help build your core muscle, your strength. So then, if you get a little bit wobbly, you are more stable. So let's see, how many of that did I do? Again, I'm just going to count the days I didn't because it's easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I did 9 out of 12. Okay, so 9 out of 12 days. No. What did I say? 9 out of 19. Okay, 9 divided by 19 is about 48. Let's say 50%. I'm going to round up. Okay, 50. And then the other one that I said 3 workouts per week. So that's per week is 1, 2, 3. I should be 3, 3, 9. Out of 9, because I'm only doing 3 workouts. Gail, one of my plannerettes, have told me you don't do it out of 19. So how many workouts did I do? One. I did a dumbbell workout on Saturday. Was that Saturday? No, actually, I lied. I did do a workout. When did I? That's 2. I got to have that as a win. See, because I didn't. 2 out of 9 times. Okay, so what's that? 2 divided by 9 is 20. Still not good. Still not good, but 2 is better than 0. I found a chair yoga very helpful. Yes, and I want to do Pilates as well. So I don't want to do any more jumping around. I don't want to do any more cardio and burpees. Oh, I don't like those. So yes, chair yoga, Pilates, they are all really good as well. I love that. Yes, I might have to. I've seen a few. You know how you've got those Facebook sponsored ads coming through. I've seen some of those chair yogas, and they sound really good as well. And so I have to also change my thinking of, workout doesn't have to mean it's 45, 60 minutes where you're jumping around and, sweating so much. That even like, brisk walking, if you like swimming, that's also really good. So what I do is, because I had three different actionable steps for physical. I'm just going to take the average of these three because I'm only going to use one of the pies. So 60 plus 50 plus 20 divided by 3. Oh, 60 plus 50 plus 20 divided by 3 is, on average, I'm just going to put 40%. 4 out, right? On average, based on the habits that I had set for myself. Now, for you, your habits might be a little bit easier because you might just have one specific goal, because I built up on some of these already, and they're easy. See how they're just easy. Get outside for a walk, 11 push-ups and 11. The 3 workouts per week, maybe not as easy for me. Again, it's a habit I'm building or rebuilding. So it might be easier if it's just one little habit. But because I had 3 different ones, I'm just taking the average. So you go, what do you do with that information, Marianne? Well, I'm going to use one of my pie charts, or my pies. So because this is 10 little segments, I'm just going to color in 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. 4 out of the 10. Okay, so if I was taking this as a pass or fail or good or bad, then that can look like it's not good at all. However, I'm not doing that. All I'm using these numbers and the little pie that I've just colored in is to visually allow me to see how well I'm progressing. What is it, something that I need to go and make more effort in the next 2 weeks? Okay, so that's all I'm doing. The next one that I have is home. I'm said to myself, Marianne, in the morning, just do 5-minute tidy up. So whatever it is, whatever you see, pop the timer on your Apple Watch or on your phone, or even the kitchen timer, put 5 minutes on, and then just clean whatever. A lot of times it's the laundry needs putting away, the hooks in the front of the door needs tidying up instead of all the jackets and the bags and the shoes. The dishwasher needs emptying, or filling up, or emptying the sink, or quick wipe down of surface areas. Just whatever it is in 5 minutes. Sometimes it'll finish before 5 minutes. Sometimes I'll go over 5 minutes, but around about 5 minutes. So let's have a look. How well did I do with that habit? Where is my 5 minutes? There it is. 1, 2, 3. Haven't been doing it. Okay. So 3 divided by 19. It's like one tiny little pie, or one tiny little segment. And I'll use purple. These are just the color codes that I use for myself. So pink is for physical, purple is for home. All right, so didn't do too well. And it shows. There's a little bit of clutter. Vacuuming hasn't been done as often, there's breadcrumbs. But I have husband, older son who's 18, and younger son who's 16, who makes the most of the mess because he walks around eating whatever, his popcorn, his toast, and just, so it's manageable. It's not, catastrophic, that it's, it's not dirty, it's messy or disorganized. So last week vacuuming, today we're going to have to do the vacuum, okay? And then we do clean as we go because it is only a small flat. But that doesn't mean that I failed just because I did, 5-minute tidy ups, okay? And tidying up doesn't mean I'm the only one tidying up. So this is just my own personal goal that I want to do, because it also helps with my mental well-being when things are not cluttered. But everybody else, put puts in the effort, husband, son, and the younger son as part of his homeschooling. So we homeschool him because he's on the autism spectrum. So part of his daily schoolwork is to clean the toilet bowl and wipe the mirrors. So that's part of his thing. But for me, my 5 minute tidy up, I only did 3 out of 19 days. Okay, let's quickly have a look. Elle says walking is best, and it's also wonderful to have walking, especially first thing in the morning, to help with your sleep pattern. So if you are having trouble sleeping, getting yourself outside and even getting a few minutes of sunlight is really important to help set your circadian rhythm, your sleep clock. So having that bright sunlight tells the body, hey, it's daytime, be alert, let's keep, let's be awake. So then that way the sleep clock is switched on, and then later on in the evening it's now starting to go, okay, our clock says it's time to go to bed, and helps you with your sleeping. So if you're having trouble sleeping, yes, walking is best, not only for your movement and physical well-being, but also to help with your sleep pattern and your mental well-being, because being out in nature and seeing greenery does help your mental well-being. Yes, I've heard walking is extremely underrated, and also a great time to, listen to podcasts, listen to songs. Yesterday, I listened to on my Spotify, the top hits that I don't, I used to listen to radio back in my day when we had AM, FM. Don't know why I do that voice, because I suddenly became an old man, see? Okay, I've heard walking is, a really good time to also listen to music and podcasts. Laurie says you can get really good exercise ideas on YouTube and Pinterest without paying. Exactly. Even Fit On app, which became really popular during lockdown, and they still offer free exercises. So many apps do offer free exercises, or you can get very cheap apps, or YouTube. Back in the 90s, Denise Austin and Jazzercise were my mum and sister-in-law's thing. We'd pop on the VHS and then do the exercises with Denise Austin. She's still around and does, non-jumping exercises on, less low-intensity exercises. So yeah, lots of different things, lots of free workouts. Yes, I've found a lot of good workouts here on YouTube, all free. Exactly. The other thing I want to start doing is doing, the trampoline exercises. There's some really good ones. Before the pandemic and shut down, I started doing trampoline exercises with a group, and that was really fun. Then we had to close down, and so that's a good one. If you have space and can get those mini trampolines, they're really good, not too strenuous on your joints. I want to start maybe doing skipping. I bought myself a ropeless smart skipping rope, and so I just got to charge that and start off with 5 skips, 10 skips, 15 skips, and build up. So yeah, lots of different exercises for sure. Okay, so next, what was the next one? My content creation. Look, that one, that is quite, I have that here as, where is it? So with that one, I created myself October focus block, so that I would normally work an hour or to an hour and a half in the morning, and then middle 2 hours, and then in the afternoon or before dinner, I do another hour, an hour and a half. They talk about creating focus work time for yourself, at least 2 to 4 hours, because those are when you do, instead of trying to do all your tasks, bits and pieces here and there, really block out a time, whether it's an hour and a half, 2 hours, and have little 5-minute breaks in between. Have that as so then that way you're not stopping starting, you're not getting distracted. Put all distractions, put your phone away. For me, what I do as a content creator, so then I don't go check when things, I turn off notifications, I'm not looking at my phone, is I actually go and film myself on time lapse. So then that way the phone is away from me, I'm not getting distracted, and I can work on my task. So with the career stuff, which is my content creation, I actually did well. So with that one, because I do have quite a few different things here, I'm going to use the pie chart and do a rating. So out of 10, how well do I think? So see how you don't even have to use, your calculations if you don't want to do that and you're not, math nerd like me, and you can just do a satisfaction rating out of 10. So I'm going to rate myself. I did really well with the income producing activities that I did. So for that one, I'm going to rate myself 8 out of 10. I'm quite proud of showing up on here on YouTube, every week. I also, have my private membership. So been working on that, and we're seeing great progress and transformation. So for that one, instead of doing how many days out of 19 days, I'm just giving myself a rating out of 10, and I'm quite happy with that one. What else is there? And then, of course, my social. Because what I found is when I don't connect, and then I isolate myself and, be internal and try and, work through my own anxious thoughts. And when I'm having low moments, I don't want to bother my friends. I don't want to reach out. Maybe they're having a good day, and if I want to talk, maybe I'll bring them down. That's how I used to think. But then that's not good, because it's important that I do reach out, because little do I know, my friends want to help. My loved ones want to know and touch base. A lot of times, of course, now with a lot of the different mental issues that's being brought forth into limelight, it's important that we are reaching out to others, not just for our own mental and emotional well-being, but also for our loved ones, because it's so much easier to reach out now when we can, rather than later and go, I didn't know. I didn't know they were having a hard time. I thought everything looked fine because of what they were sharing online. They looked like they were going on holidays. The pictures say a different thing. They're always smiling and everyone looks happy. Sometimes those that smile the most may be the ones struggling the most. So, and then that could be you. So let's start the ball rolling by reaching out, not just to say to our friends that we are around, but also saying to ourselves that I need it too. I need to make sure that I don't keep to myself, that when one day when things are a little bit more difficult and things are all not going to according to plan, one little thing can set you off. Okay, so it's important that we look after each other and reach out. And reaching out can just be, when someone pops in your mind, there's a reason for that. I believe in all these things, move around in the world for certain reasons. So if someone pops in your mind, send them a love emoji or a heart emoji, and that's it. You don't have to expect, if they don't reply back, don't think, oh, well, what's the point of reaching out to them? They didn't even say hello back. Okay, but that could be the love, the connection someone needs then and there. And then that could be your own. You're filling your own social cup. Social cup isn't just one way. Social cup is two way. You connect, then they go, oh, okay. And then, how when we go, or we have friends and we go to them, oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. I didn't know. It's really important that for our own mental, physical, emotional well-being, that you are connecting. And connecting can be as simple as a heart emoji. My best friend and I from high school, all I got to send is a heart, and then she'll send a kiss emoji to let each other know we are here when you need me, and or I am here thinking of you. All right. So that's one of the things that's really, I highly, highly recommend that you do, not just for reaching out, but for your own mental well being. It does help, it does feel good, even when things are not going, right. Okay, so really important. Let's quickly have a look. Yes, awesome. Yes, yes, exactly. Check your health insurance for benefits and programs, sometimes free. Exactly. So, we have, all these different things that we pay for, and then, it's not until later that we go, oh, I didn't know that was available to me. Wonderful. That's a really good tip there, Stephanie Joy. All right. So, where were we? Habit tracker. So how did I go with my social goal? Okay, my social goal is connect with loved ones. A lot of them, it'll be something silly. I love FaceTiming my mum and dad. And I'm 50, but I still act as if I'm 12 with them. So I'll do FaceTime, and while I'm waiting for them to answer the phone, I'll answer the phone. I'll be making funny face because I know how much joy that brings my mum and dad. My dad would normally go, hey, my mum's, their name's Clarita. Clarita, have a look at your daughter. She's being silly again. But it makes them laugh, and little things like that. And I would just go and call them and just go, you remember when I was 6? What was that lady's name? Whatever thought came into my mind, and then they'll tell me, and I'm going, okay, goodbye. And then I'll just hang up and just go, poop, right? And so create those connections with your loved ones. So how well did I do with connecting? Where are we? Connect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 11 out of 19. Now, I know I've actually connected more here, but I just didn't touch my habit tracker because I was busy. So what I say, 11 out of 19. So 11 divided by 19 is about 60%. So I'm going to go and color 60%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 10. Okay, and so if you're new to using like a habit tracker or a goals tracker, so this one was physical, this one was home, this one was, we'll put career, and this one was social. Okay, so as you can see, I'm not focusing on my mental well-being, my finance, or my spiritual, because these are the things from last do I still have it here? I think I put it away. For my September, these were the things I said I wanted to work on in October. So what are some notes? Okay, look, the home, I need to make sure, for me, home, what is it? Home goals. Maybe I have to change, instead of doing it in the morning, because it's still a priority for me. Maybe I could move it in the evening. So one of the last things or maybe the thing I do before dinner, because how for me around about 4 to 5 is a lull time. I'm just doom scrolling. Maybe I have to move my 5-minute tidy up later on in the day, instead of doing it in the morning where I have a lot of energy and I want to focus on my tasks and to-dos. So home is still important. Home goals, maybe do later in the day. Okay, so when you are doing your mid-month check-in, whether you're using a little pie chart or just using your habit tracker, take notes. What happened in the month, at the first half of the month? Okay, so home, maybe do later in the day. Physical, I have to go and actually physical, do my, I found a dumbbell workout. I use the Strong app, and it's a UK based husband and wife company. So do my dumbbell, and it's only 3 days a week, and it's not hard. You know, like as in you can use whatever weights you want to use. So I'm just going to start out with my 1 kilogram. That's actually just because, you know, I like color coding. I want to make sure I'm using the right color code. Okay, so pink is my physical. And what else do I want to work on? And I'm going to put career because I am working on opening up my Plannerettes Inner Circle membership to the public, finally. Plannerettes Inner Circle. Okay. Hello, Irene. Nice to see you. Budgeting Mama. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here so much. Okay. All right. Ali, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Celia says, that is so cute. I do the same with my parents, right? I make funny faces. I'll be like, and I'm like, and then when they don't answer, I'm like there for like a few seconds, and like my husband, I'll see that my husband in the corner of my eye, and he was just like shaking his head. That's me. We gotta add silliness. We gotta add fun. Who says because we're older that we can't make funny faces anymore? You know, and so, or sometimes when I'm on the couch, you know, I'll be like answering the phone from like the camera is like low on my chest, and I'll have all my chins, and then my dad would laugh. And seeing my dad laugh is one of the wonderful things, because, you know, it's just like, you know, I'm one of 2 children. I'm the eldest daughter. So, you know, dad's little girl. And so just making my dad laugh is just, it brings joy. And then that's just, oh, it's going to get me teary, right? So they're all able, they're still all strong. They're all still, but, you know, they're in their early 70s, still active and very strong and able. But, you know, these are the worries that we have. As the I guess our generation is called the sandwich generation, as in, you know, if you have children, you know, you're looking after the young ones, and then you also have to think of looking after the older ones. So that's that sandwich generation. So you have worries when your children are growing up, and you have worries when your parents are aging. So it's just like, bring fun, bring joy, bring creativity, because life is too short, and life is already full of chaos and overwhelm and stress and anxiety. Infuse these fun stuff in your things, and even little things like sending funny videos to, you know, your husband who's just sitting next to you. And I'll be like, sometimes I'm actually will tell him, you know, I'm just right here next to you, you can just show me. And it's like, no, it's better to just, you know, send it, because it takes up the messages take up so much of my storage. So I said, just show me. And so these things, and sharing little things. Yes, that's great. You know, I have pushed back the opening and launching to the public for so long, so it's really important that I do it soon. Yes, humor is good medicine for others and us. Yes, laughter is good medicine indeed. So, right. So those are the notes that I've taken in my mid-month. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm doing my tidying up, work on my physical well-being, because I'm doing well with my work, walking outside, and 11 push-ups and 11 squats, but I really need to look after my strength, and doing a little bit of weights to start off with is a good start. And of course, opening up. So write down the things that, you know, that went well. So then that way, you know, you can celebrate your progress. Okay. And then what's working well, what hasn't happened yet. My workout hasn't happened yet, although it started, and what still matters for the rest of this month, which is making sure my home life. So for the next 2 weeks, this is when you can then realign, pivot. You know, I always quote the Friends, you know, with Ross and Rachel and Chandler trying to get the couch around the corner, you know, a narrow stairs. pivot, pivot. And that's what we're going to do if and when things may not be going as well as what you had planned at the beginning of the week. So top priority is physical. Work on 3 workouts per week. Okay, so make sure you write down with me how you're going. And then, of course, the next one is open my membership. Okay, my membership. And then tidy, move my 5-minute tidy in the afternoon. Tidy up in the afternoon. So then that way, look, even moving my tidy up habit in the afternoon, I have something that I can do that is easy. So even though it's easy, because what happens is I'm already, when I wake up, when I do, water and stretch, 11 push-ups, note down my mood, I already like in the go-go mode because I have more energy in the morning. So maybe a 5-minute tidy up can help that reset for me and, have the place, my apartment, a little bit more tidy before we close up for the night and and go to bed. So that could be a thing that I can do. All right, so let's quickly have a look. Okay, so of course, if you are liking the video so far, I'm entertaining you with my funny faces, or you're getting value not just from myself but also the wonderful Plannerettes in the live chat, make sure you hit that like button, and of course, just like Celia did by sharing, and we've got the Perfect Plan interrupted Stephanie Joy here with us, share it with other planner friends of yours, because not only is it wonderful for my channel, but then it also tells other planners and plannerettes like us that they may also get value from this video. So don't forget. Could I ask the cost of joining the inner circle? That I will tell you. Actually, I will have a special. I'll tell you a little bit later on, because there are different price points if you get in as an early bird. So, so I'll share that with you. But yeah, I do have a free webinar coming up where I will share more information about it. So, not too much. Okay, it's affordable enough that for the amount of value that's I do share, and the meetups that we do have. So it's a community membership. Not we just go and make sure we all are in tune with each other, and help. I make sure that whatever we need at the time to move us from overwhelm, anxious, burnout, stress, to calm, clear, and creatively inspired. So because I've opened it up to founding members that are helping me figure out the best possible things that we can do together to help us get in a better frame of mind and not let the overwhelm and the stuckness keep us frozen. So I'll share more of that soon, Ali. So yes, won't be too long. Okay, so now that is my mid-month check-in. Okay, what I did, had a look at the habits and routines that I had set for myself, used my habit tracker to see how consistent I was with those habits. Not a pass, not a fail, not a good nor bad. I did a little bit of math, being nerdy, just to see how much of my pie chart I need to color in. And then the Wheel of Life pie chart visually just allows me to go and say, okay, are these areas, Marianne, still important to you for the rest of the month? Yes, no, or, do I need to pivot and maybe not have, maybe tweak the habits and routine I've set for myself? That's all this visual is saying. It gives you a nice bird's eye view of what things to keep going with, focus on, make more progress. It's not a test. It just helps determine visually what you need to go and look into for the rest of the month. Okay, so I don't want you to go and say pass or fail or bad, Marianne. Boo, you said you were going to work out 3 times per week and you only did it 2 times in the last 19 days. Boo you. No, 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 no. I have taken 20 to 30 years of being down on myself and being my harshest critic. No more, okay? A lot of the times, the dialogue that we have in our head is based on so many years of things that maybe someone said when we were 6, and now for for 20, 30 years we have carried it with us that we are not good at something because a teacher may have said we're not good at art, an auntie, an uncle, a boss, or whatever. And so we have taken that and we've placed it in our brain and gone, you are not good. No more. It starts today. It will take time, right? Because I'm still here going, oh, I'm ugly, I look fat. And my husband goes, stop it. Stop being mean to my wife, stop being so harsh on yourself. And I know normally when when those negative thinking come in, it's when I'm either hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Okay. And that is why we create little small actionable habits to get us through, to ensure that we are not falling victim to our own internal dialogue. Because I've had enough. I've had enough of that dialogue because it's not nice. I would never say the stuff I say to myself to a friend, to an acquaintance, to a stranger, because it's mean. Marianne, you are so mean to yourself sometimes. Enough. I need grace. I need compassion. I need love just as much as I give to others. And you need to do the same. And it starts today. It starts today. Tomorrow, look, maybe after this, I might go on my couch and go, I'm no good. I don't even know why I'm doing what I'm doing, okay? And then that's when I'll go, why are you thinking that way? What is wrong? Are you hungry? Do you need to go eat something, Marianne? All right, so really, really important. Okay, so what do I do with this information? And how do I move forward for the next 2 weeks? So then I am not, waiting for the month of November to go and work on it. Hang on a tick. I'll just take myself off the camera because I have a runny nose, and I'm just gonna wipe it and save you from having to see me wipe my nose and make sure, hopefully, everything is coolio goolio. All right. I think I'm good. Yes, presentable. I'm presentable. Okay. All right. So how do I do this? How do I go and move forward with the rest of the month? Because, I've said to myself, keep going. Maybe move it to the afternoon. So because I have written all this down, instead of starting over with a new planner or with a new habit tracker, I'm going to show you what I normally do. I'm going to get a piece of paper. Okay, so this is just a scrap. This was one I had I was writing down. I did a marker test on 120 GSM paper. So I used a kuretake, a tombo fudenosoke brush tip marker, and then an orange zebra mild liner. So this is 120 GSM weighted paper, which is about a 32-pound weighted paper. And as you can see, no bleed through, and let's put it there, very minimal ghosting. So majority of my paper that I use is 120 GSM. The ones you see at the moment, I think these are 160, only because I had run out of 120 GSM. So what I do to adjust my habits and routines, and maybe have to rewrite some of them and move them around, is I'm just going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to cut a little section so I can rewrite this. Okay, so grab yourself a little pencil, and what I normally do is I'm going to have a piece of paper over here that I can rewrite these habits in the new order, or maybe, move some around. So what I just do is, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. It'll make more sense once I've shown you. So I'm going to write here. So I'm going to make a pencil marking so you can see. Okay, so this is the piece of, make it a bit darker. This is the piece that I'm going to cut out and glue on top. Okay, so essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with a ruler, of course, with a ruler, create little lines, cut a piece so then I can glue it onto here and create a flap. All right, so here's one I prepared earlier. So I did lined it up with a ruler, nice and straight. I'm going to grab a piece of pair of scissors. So this one is a pen style scissors. I've popped it in the description below. So if you need a pair of scissors and pop it in your pencil case or your carry bag, you're not going to get stabbed because you've got the cover, okay? And then it releases there, okay? And then that's how you go and cut it. So what I'm going to do, so I am just going to cut this piece of paper, make sure it's as straight as possible. And then I will show you what I do to go and rewrite my habits without having to start over with a new planner, because I want to hang on to these because these are my progress. Okay, so there it is. That's what I'm going to glue there. See? I'm just going to, I added this little piece of here, as you can see, that's going over into the Monday, and I'm going to fold that bit. Where are we? I'm going to use another pair of ruler to help me fold that bit. Okay. So see, I've created a flap, right? Let's quickly have a look. Snickers. I have Snickers bar. Yeah. Lydia, did you just pop in? Or have I? Yes. Hello. Nice to see you. Have a Snickers bar. Yes. Yes. I love Snickers better than Mars bar. Okay. I love Snickers. So there we go. And Life with Mama Bear says, I'm so glad I found you on YouTube. I feel like I'm in the self-improvement class. Something I definitely, right? And I'm a work in progress. So I'm no expert, right? And you will see me, I always say, do as I say, not as I do, because then I'll be like, oh, I'll be crying over there on the couch, feeling sorry for myself. But I'm getting a lot better and bouncing back a lot quicker and more resilient and, you know, a little bit more confident that I'm actually going to open up my Plannerettes membership finally, because I have put off, because I've gone, it's not right yet. Now, what if they say no? What if no one joins? What if I'm crap at it? What if, you know, they find out I'm an imposter? What if I don't help? Yet I'm seeing so much transformation with the founding members that helped me open it up, and we're just like, they're saying life-changing. I'm like, oh my God, like, little old Mariane is, you know, helping others, because the last thing I want to happen is for you to be doing all the stuff you're doing, not coping, and then and then starting to think that it's your fault. It's not your fault. It's just we have to learn ways to cope, and it's the coping mechanisms that help us. And a lot of times it's not being lonely, not being on doing it ourselves. And so I'm getting better, you know, and I think like anything, you know, you don't become an expert, and you don't master it until you do it more often. And it's really, you do it more often when you are around people. Let's have a look. Celia, Mariane is truly amazing in so many ways. Shucks, Celia, thank you. Lol, you mean to us we have a Snickers commercial that you're hungry to eat a Snickers? Yes. The one I love is with Betty White, the Snickers one with the young footballer, and it's like, have a Snickers, you know. Yeah, I knew what you mean, but I do love Snickers better than Mars bar. But yeah, I love that. Have a Snickers if you're having the hangry. Okay, so this is what I've done. As you can see, where is my little mock-up? I just I lined up a piece of paper, made markings exactly where I need to, cut it, and then created the rectangle piece, got my ruler, lined it up, so then I can write my mood again on here. And then this little flap here, I'm just going to glue it. So this one, I love the La Tombow Multi Mono Liquid Glue because one end is pointy, and so for precise gluing, and then the other sort of like a chiseled broader tip, so then that way for bigger pieces. I'm just going to go and put it here so I don't glue down the page, and then just on the flap itself, put some glue in down. Make sure it's the right way. I'm going to attach that onto there. Does that look like it's all lined up? Yes. Glue, glue, glue. And then I can just create the little markings. Okay. I'll just do that. And guess what? I didn't have to start with a new habit tracker. All I can do now is write down in the order that I want. So I won't do it now because I want to make sure all the others, but I know the 5-minute tidy up, I want to continue doing that for the rest of October, but instead of having it higher or earlier in the day where I wasn't, as you can see, I wasn't as consistent with it. So where is it? Right, only 1, 2, 3 times. So I still want to make sure I do that. So these are the things you look at when you are doing any type of check-ins, whether it's mid-month or at the end of the month, before you start, a new goal. Because the last thing you want is recreate, the habits, goals that you have, and then keep failing at it, or not. Well, I shouldn't say fail because I said it's neither pass nor fail, or not being consistent with it. Okay, so you want to go and reassess. Is it something that maybe should be later in the day or earlier in the day? So I know for me, I am going to move that 5-minute tidy up. So let me just pop a little, where is it? Here we go, a little sticky note flag. So I've done that. And then I also want to make sure the movement, my movement habit, oops, where is my movement habit? I may really need to be, instead of just saying afternoon, I need to be more specific on exact exact time. So see here, I only did really 2 times. So the movement, one of the things I'm going to have to do is be more specific. So create an appointment with myself. So instead of saying afternoon, I have to say at 4 o'clock, just the same way I will create an appointment for an email or a phone call or a Zoom call. I'm going to have to go and be more specific, because at the moment, being general and doing 3 days a week is not doing it for me. So I might have to go, what day of the week do I want to do them, and what time of the day? So that's something I have to go and work out. And then the other one is, I think those are my 2 main ones that I'm going to move around. And then when you move things around, there's some other things that you're going to, in your habit stacking, is move around as well. Because before, my 5-minute tidy up was before going outside. So I have to change things. So that is how I would adjust my habits and routines based on how well I progressed for the first half of October, and what priorities are still important to me. Okay, so really, really important that you are adjusting based on already what may be coming up for the next 2 weeks. If you know you've got a big project, maybe you should, do you have to drop some of them, or do you have to make things a little bit more simpler than you need to? All right, so be kind to yourself when you are looking and doing a mid-month check-in. Okay, so maybe instead of scrapping your habits and routines that aren't working, maybe it's just adjusting and making tiny little tweaks and making, having fun with just pieces of paper, cutting it up, gluing it, rewriting your habits. I might rewrite my habits for in a different color, in red. Okay, so that's fun. You're infusing fun and joy using the stationery that you have that you may not use as often. And look, if you miss days, that's okay. Progress is not linear. It's not like it's like it's not progress is not that. Okay, it's this. I missed, right? It's that. Okay, so there'll be days you don't do it, you've fallen off the wagon, you're sick, you don't want to, well, can't be bothered, but pick up the next day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, do it. Even if it's just for 2 minutes, do it. Okay, so progress is not that. It's not like getting better each and every time. It's just getting and picking yourself back up as soon as you can or when you can. Okay, so maybe your self-care routine belongs, like I said, in the evening instead of a morning, because sometimes we follow what we see on Instagram or Pinterest or what other people are doing. It's okay to try it their way, but if it's not working, try it your way. What do they say is a sign of insanity? When you do things over and over again the same way and expecting something different. Okay, so move things around and see how it works. And then look, if my 5-minute tidy up in the afternoon, I still don't do it, I got to figure something out. It's experiment. These things are like you become a scientist. Experiment, and these things are just data points. They're just data to tell you that, okay, that way didn't work. Let's try something else. Okay, so, make sure that you are not hard on yourself, because what's the point, right? There's so many harder things in life. Why are we creating more hardship for ourselves? And then, like I said, we got to be kind to ourselves. Give ourselves grace and compassion. I'm just tidying up for the next bit. So then always tidy up as you go. See? Cleaning up as you go. What does that do? It actually helps your mental well-being. Why? Because your brain is always looking for order, because it reads mess, it reads things out of place as threat, because it's like, what's going on here? You know how when who here has ever, their house has ever been robbed, right? Our house has been robbed or burglared, which ones it is, right? And so when I was, I think, 12 or 13, my brother and I came home from school, and then the dish rack was not where it should be. And somehow my amygdala, so your amygdala is that part of your brain that says fight, flight, or freeze. All right, so the cautious part of my brain went, because I used to do the dishes, and then my brother used to dry the dishes. And so I know exactly where things are. And then I got home, went in the kitchen, and I went, why is the dish rack not where it should be? And then I looked, and then I saw that the curtain was pulled back, and then the broken glass. Got myself and my younger brother, who's 4 years younger, right, out of there, went to the neighbor's house and got them to call the police, because I just went, I think we just got robbed. Well, because it was just like, see, it's still giving me goosies, right? Because it's just like, I thought maybe they were still in the house. So our brain is wired to look for threat. And one of the things is reads as threat is chaos, is clutter. So if you're finding your brain is going all over the place and, it's not standing still, is just go, what does my environment look like? Over there's my laundry, boxes on the floor. Although, in all fairness, have a think of what else is happening. For me, I've been busy, with getting together a free webinar. So it's okay. So, but don't let it be too cluttered, because or else you'll mind. Hello, Ronnie Cat. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, speaking of being busy with a project, before I show you how the next thing, and writing down all this stuff, I want to talk about the free webinar that I am going to be doing. All right. So they only, yeah, they did. They only stole my old TV and left the new one. Oh, so probably someone you knew, because I know ours was our neighbor, because we had a new Commodore 64. All right, when Commodore, that's showing my age, and back in the 80s, yeah, 80s, was I in the, or 87, 88, I think, right? Commodore 64, and of course all the games were taken on. My poor little brother was really sad about that, and so it was just like, oh, and for a long time I was scared of being in the house after, because after school, and so but yeah, so it's not a good feeling, really not. Okay, so before we keep going, I want to quickly tell you about something wonderful that I started a few weeks ago with my Plannerettes Inner Circle members, and now I'm actually going to be offering it for free for everyone. Okay, so it is our free HALT check-in webinar and a free printable that we have been using, that's been really, really helpful. So HALT, what does HALT stand for? Hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. So I briefly touched upon it, and as let's see who, Lydia says, the hangry, when you're hungry and angry. And that's where the Snickers bar commercial came in. All right, so it's a simple but powerful check-in that we do to stop the overwhelm before it spirals into full blown out burnout, stress, overwhelm, anxiety. Okay, so inside the webinar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to notice the signs. What is it for you? What is showing up when you're hungry, when you're angry, when you're lonely, and when you're tired? And noting and knowing these signs that happens to you early is what's going to help you create self-care go-tos you can reach for. So in the Plannerettes Inner Circle member, we talk about our little first aid kit, right? So when you cut your finger, you go to your little first aid kit in the cupboard up high. So, with all the medicine, so the young ones can't get it. You get your Band-Aid, or I think the US, you call it plaster, and you put your little Band-Aid, so then to stop the bleeding and to let that little cut heal. So it's the same way when it comes to our need. All right, for when we're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, there is a need. What is the need that we need to do? Either eating, right? Giving yourself a little snack, drinking water, catching up with friends. What are the signs for you when these things happen? And then we create, from knowing that, we are going to create self-care go-to so you can reach for, just like you reach for a Band-Aid to help you fix the cut. What is it that you need to do to help you reset your routine, so then that, actually you catch the overwhelm before it becomes too much and you start to scream at your poor husband, according to him, for no reason, but really it was something that happened, 2 hours ago. Okay, so we're going to help build quick reset routine that actually works in your real life, not just on paper, not just self-care. Well, I've got to have a spa bath, I've got to have manis, I've got to have facials, I've got to go have coffee dates. Okay, they're real quick, easy go-tos that you can create for yourself. Now, I've added the link. Let me see, make sure I've got the link to register. So if you haven't registered yet, I'll pop that in the live chat right now. I also have put it in the description. So to register, or you need to register, because if you can't watch it live, I'm going live. So my Saturday, I think for those of you in the US, your Friday afternoon or early evening. If you can't make it live, then the only way you can access the replay to it is via registering, because I'm only going to send it to the replay link to those that register. Because if those that don't want it, I don't want to bombard them with too many more emails from me. Okay, so register. Now, if you are not an email subscriber yet, this register link that I have now in the chat, you do need to verify your email. So it'll say verify your email, and then you'll get an email with a code to verify. And you do need to tick the box that you do want to get future updates from me. You can always unsubscribe. I do that with some of my others, right? You can always unsubscribe if you don't want to. The reason why I do that now is, unfortunately, I have lots of people, because I do give a lot of freebies, free planner printables, and then they'll just put funny little emails or whatever, and then I have lots of emails that's not verified, and then when I send out my weekly email newsletters, I start to become spam, or it's not going through, and then my score will go down, and then of course for those who want my email newsletters or updates will not get it, because somewhere along the line it says, well, you don't have a good score when you send out emails, people are not opening them, or people are marking you as spam. So that is the reason why. So that I do have a little, if you're not already an email subscriber, there is that verification. So then that way, unfortunately, there was one stage there, a bot got me, and I had 10,000 weird, funny emails in my system that it took me forever to clean up. So that's just a little way for me to go. If you want it, fantastic. If you don't want to get my updates, unsubscribe. But really, why? Come on. It's nice to hang out with me, isn't it? Okay, so but if you're already an email subscriber, you would have gotten my newsletter. I came out probably a few hours ago. Your registration, you don't need to verify because you're already verified, and you don't need to tick the box because you've already said you want to get that. Okay, so really important for those of you new to my channel or new to my email newsletters. There is a couple of steps that you need to take, just so then peace of mind. I know that if you want it and you're really interested in it, then put in an address that's verified and it's not fake, please. And so really important. Hello, Tracy, nice to see you. I appreciate you being here. I love that everybody saying hello. Okay, so, and then not only is there the free Halt check-in webinar, but you know me, for those of you who've been hanging around, there is also a free printable. So it's the Halt check-in printable, because originally what I did, do I still have it here? I don't think I do. When I first introduced the Halt check-in to my members, I just did it on paper, just wrote it down, and then I went, you know what? It's going to be good to have an actual prompt on what is it to look for when we are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, and then create space. So what do we need to do when we see this in ourselves? So your hungry could be different to my hungry. What shows up for you when you're lonely may be different to what shows up for me when I'm lonely. Okay, and these are just your big headings. There's other emotions and feelings that we can put underneath it. But that is where the free webinar is going to be helpful, because as a group, as a community, we are going to pop in chat or go, put up your hand in Zoom and say, this is what it looks like for me. Because someone else might go, yeah, me too. That's what happened when I'm angry or when I'm hungry. And so as a community and the free webinar, we will work together to figure out what it is and how it looks like for us. Because a lot of times it's these simple little check-ins, right, that can actually stop or reduce the overwhelm before they blow up. So my younger son, like I said, he's 16 and the autism spectrum. We call it his volcano, okay? Little things will start showing up before he has his big meltdown. And so if we can catch those little signs before, so if he's getting sensory input overload and he's jumping around, okay, we have to either close the blinds, turn off all the noise, turn off all the lights, so then we can minimize the sensory input that was, that makes his emotions dysregulated. And so it's the same for us. I still believe we are all on the spectrum. Okay, I think I'm undiagnosed. I have undiagnosed ADHD tendencies, and I can get super hyper focus on things and forget about eating. All right, so you might be on this side of the spectrum, and a lot of you might be on this side of the spectrum. So it's catching the little things that show up for us when we are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, and then going, "What's my band-aid for this?" Band-aid is not to cover it and fix it, but what is it that can quench it, so then we don't have the big volcanic eruption and just go Rah! And bang doors and swear our head off. Yes, I swear my head off, right? Yes, I will admit to that. And that's because prior to knowing these little check-ins, I could go from 0 to 100 in my temper because I did not know, I did not listen, I did not look for the signals. So it's really important. Laurie has registered. Fantastic. I love that. So you will get an email to say you're in, and then just 3 days before, 3 to 2 days before, you will get the printable download. Okay, so where are we? Let's have a look. Okay, let me show you. Okay, let's just zoom out a little bit. Let me put my goals here. Okay, let me just clean up so then that way I am nice and ready. Okay, and my other one is here. So this is an A5 size planner, but I use disc bound because I had a Happy Planner Classic I wasn't using. So I use disc bound. So I have also had bought myself the Happy Planner Big Punch Hole Puncher that allows me to hole punch these mushroom hole punching. So I have my Amazon affiliate link in the description. So this is where the Franken Planning and Hybrid Hobonichi A5 cover and cover on cover, A5 printable size, the disc bound. And so what I did is I just used a laminated sheet and then hole punched it so then I can use the inserted into the cover and cover. Okay, so that's where it is. So let me quickly show you. So the Halt, you'll get a printable, and then it also has the how to use it. So if you're not, following along the free webinar when you need your check-ins. Okay, so it has the hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, how it feels and what to do. Okay, so, and then at the back, you also have notes for other things that you note when we do the free webinar together. So you'll get the free printable a couple of days before it. Then it's going to be via Zoom. So, unless you want to go, you don't have to have cameras on, but I'd love seeing your faces if you can, but you're not going to be featured unless we do a group one and I'll take a picture or something. But it'll be me and show you how it is, and my desk as pretty much just like this. And then if you can print your Halt printable before you come to the webinar, the Zoom link will be sent a day beforehand, and then an hour before the Zoom, the webinar starts, you'll also get an update. Okay, so really important, if you want to go and join in, register, and then if by any chance you cannot join us live, the replay will be available to you. I'll have it available for 7 days. Okay, so then that way you can take your time to go back, rewatch it. Okay, so the webinar will be live next Saturday, my time, your time, Friday, I think 8 p.m. ET, 5 p.m. PT, and then so you'll get the printable to do that with me. So how does that sound? Does that sound like something would be helpful to you? I know it has been helpful for me. For like last week, I was ready to give up. I'm always, it feels like I'm always ready to give up. I have these self-doubts always popping up. Again, it's 20 to 30 years of history and habits that I'm slowly reframing. Okay, so let me know if that sounds like good. If you have registered, you're most welcome, Tracy. Yeah, so it's really, it's one of the things that's like, how we always go, have you had a nap? I know that there's a funny video of a big brother asking his little sister, have you had your nap today? And she's going, no. He goes, well, you need one. And it's that simple. Or it's like, have you eaten? And you go, oh, it's 2 o'clock and I haven't had lunch because I've been working at my project or sitting at my work desk for that long because I need to finish this up. A lot of times we're getting overwhelmed and all these anxious feelings is because we haven't quenched the need, a very basic need. Okay, so this is what the workshop will be all about. Registered and excited. Now, like I said, it's been such a game changer, and the thing is, I'm really excited because if you attend the webinar live, that is when I will be announcing my opening up my Plannerettes Inner Circle private membership. So, if you can, if possible, join, because that's when I will have an early bird access price. So when you're on the live and you join, then you'll get the early bird access, and then I will have another price for the next 24 48 hours after that. And I'm only going to open the sign-ups for it for about 5-7 days, because I really want to get started and get the new members orientated, and so gets work rather than wait another 2-3 weeks and people who've signed them going, what's happening? What's going on, Marianne? I've been hanging around. I'm feeling overwhelmed over here, and here you are taking your good old time. Okay, so I'm only opening it up for 5 or 7 days, still trying to figure that out, because at the end of the month, I've been called up for jury duty, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. So I want to try and get it done, sign-ups as soon as possible. And I will be closing it and opening it again in the new year, because I want to nurture us who are in there. So then that way we can, grow together, nurture each other, help each other out, and create a bond like I have done so far with the founding members that joined up way before I even had any of it created. So they had trust in me, and we are doing such wonderful work and inspiring each other. So the thing is not just coming from me. Where the other plannerettes are inspiring me, inspiring everybody else. And so if that's what you're needing, because no one understands your planner need on why you love colorful markers and stickers and everything else. So that's what's gonna happen. Okay, so hooray, Marianne finally is getting her act together and getting all these stuff done. Let's have a look. Tracy says, hi, Mama Bear and Budgeting Mama. I love it. I operate from the land of low energy. Yeah. And a lot of times, we think that bringing our energy and our capacity needs something big, but that could just be water. Mm-hmm. Who here is like, when they say you are dehydrated or you're feeling thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Laurie says, I just ordered an A5 planner just for your channel. I will be printing out all your printables as soon as I get in 3 days. Oh, let us know. Show us what you got, even the printables you used today. I love it. Yes. So I actually created these printables for my own use, because I started homeschooling our young son back in 2019, and so he was in a support class in a public school, but unfortunately there was not enough resources to have him and I think there was 7 other special needs children in the class. And it was just, there was not enough support for him, and there were a lot of challenging behaviors. And so we decided I was going to homeschool him. And of course, on top of my own anxiety, a lot of it was, how am I going to do this? How am I going to manage his homeschool, figure out how to homeschool, as well as manage my own well-being and manage the household? I'm the one doing the expense tracking and budgeting and all that stuff, and also not lose myself. So I created these planner printables just for me, and just tweaked it here. Oh, I don't like that. It's not working. I need more space here. The well-being planner spread, things that really focus on me, not just on the to-dos and the tasks and the appointments. I created them for myself, and I just started sharing it on Instagram, and people going, where'd you get that? Oh, I made it. Because do you sell it? No. Why would I sell it? It's like, as in, it's just for, you know, my own thing. I didn't know anyone wanted, but because I kept sharing, you know, how I was doing, and again, that connection, right, that I needed, being a stay-at-home mom. And I, like, this YouTube thing was not in my cards to do, but the more I showed up, more people said, you know, that's really helping. It's what I needed now. And that's what I used to say. It's like, when I find things, it's like things will show up for us at the correct time. And so I'm always one of these that go, grab it by the, you know, and go with it, because it came to my life for a reason. And so it's really important. So I love it. Thank you. I mean, I appreciate you all for just hanging out with Mariane on your Saturday afternoon, evening. Here it's, you know, nearly 7 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. And this has just been so good for my own mental well-being. So even if no one was watching, even better that someone's, you know, watching, I'd still be doing it, because I know how much it's helping me. I'm not like, you know, no longer not anxious. I'm going to be anxious all the time, because I think it's the way my brain's wired. Like I said, I think I'm on the spectrum. I think I have ADHD tendencies. I'm not diagnosed, but my husband's going, every time I'll see someone who has ADHD say whatever they're going through, it's like, do I do that? And goes, uh-huh, you do. You're like, just 1 minute you're over here and 1 minute your brain's over there. So really important. Okay, so I appreciate those who have registered already. Again, let me just pop that in the so the webinar here, just a couple of verification. If you're like going, what's with all these steps? What's wrong with you, lady? Why can't you just make it easy? It's just making sure that, you know, I don't spam you with so many other stuff, or just so then you know it's coming from me. All right, it's not it's a verified thing. All right, so let's quickly have a look. Everyone seems excited. Thank you so much. Okay, so I just want to quickly do a stationary spotlight. So you might have seen me, you know, flipping through my page. So my goals page. Okay, I've been removing these. And, you know, how do I get to my habit tracker without having to flip through, you know, where is my habit tracker? Oh, actually, I was going, where is my habit tracker? Because I haven't put my, so these clear divided tabs I made myself. How? Okay, so this is actually laminated pouches, gone through the laminating machine. This one is the, I don't know if I can quickly grab it. Can I quickly grab it without? So these are the ones, okay? So laminating pouches, just these are the brand that I buy from my local stationery. So this one has a gloss, oops, where is it? Gloss finish. So then they will be shiny. Let me see if I can, and then I also have, so this one that I'm using is the, where is it? Matte finish, okay? Matte finish. So then it has this cloudy effect, and so it doesn't, because I do have softbox lighting, it's not glaring up, and it gives a nice cloudy finish. So the laminating sheets that I use is just your standard 80 microns. So microns just depends on the thickness. So the higher the number, the thicker and sturdier the laminating pouch is when it gets run through the laminating machine. And then these ones here, I just use, I think this is the Carpe Diem sticker tabs, and then I use my Dymo Lettratag label maker to create the labels. So I've made clear divided tabs for my pocket, my personal, as you can see here, there's my today. So this is the, see how it glares? That's the gloss finish. And so if you want it, so then it's clear and it's not, you know, you can see to the other side. I create these clear divided tabs. Now the reason why, the reason why I do that is so then I'm not flipping through my pages. I know exactly when I need to go for my goals tracker. Okay, so there's goals. I need to go to my habit tracker. I need to go to my well-being planner spread. I need to go to my weekly spread. need to go for my today. So today is now going to be Monday. Where's my Monday page? Okay. And then I just, because it is, this one is a disc bound, you can remove it and replace it. But if you have a ring bound planner, the way to do it is if you hole punch it, whoop, and then cut little, can you see how there's a little slit? Okay, so just cut little slits to the hole punch. And then that way I can replace and remove without opening the ring planner. All right, so it's really, the stationary spotlight or the clear divider tabs is really important. And then that way, you know, I use them to make my goals and tracker pages and all my other pages easily. I can get to them a lot easier because then I can flip through straight to those that matter, the pages that matter right now. Because if your goals are hidden, if you're going, you know, where are my goals? Where are my goals? Where's, oh well, can't find it, can't flip through it, right? If you have the divider tabs, you can go straight to your goals right away, have a look, all right, okay, my mid-month check-in, all right, says that I need to go and put my physical well-being on top of mine. So your clear or divider tabs are a great way for you to get to your most used pages a lot quicker. So who else here uses divider tabs for your planner, or are you constantly, or have you got, you know, bookmarks or some of, I know the Hobonichi has, see how they've got the little page markers, so, and other things have like little page markers like this. So the Hobonichi has this little page marker that goes right on the side of the cover, so if you wanted, you can have it here, right? But I use it to keep it closed. All right, so who else uses divider tabs? Type yes in the comment section now, or do you want to start using them? So then that way you can get to your most pages. So if you've got, you know, sections where you do your scriptures, or you'll do your Bible writing, or your goals, or your expense tracker, a great way to get to that. And here, look, at the top, I've also have top tabs, okay? So gratitude, victory, and future log. So of course, when I'm writing my gratitude log, I'll go to here. I'm going to write my victory log. What are my wins for the day? What are my what's going on in November, December, okay, for next year. So if you also want to create your own clear divider tabs using laminating pouches, if you've got a laminating machine. Now, if you don't, you can also go get, you know, those clear envelopes. Do I have one here? Document, yes, I do. Okay. Oh, this one I've opened up because I was, so these are, you know, just the clear envelopes that you put your documents in, okay? So what I've done is I've also purchased these in the past, because sometimes, you know, if you don't have a laminating machine, I had someone mention to me before, oh, well, it's good to make that if you've got all the tools. And it's like, well, of course, you know, if you don't have all the tools, then you can't make it the way that I'm showing. But you can also use clear divider tabs. You can use cardstock, like printed cardstock, so it doesn't have to be clear. I like the clear. The reason is I can still see the other side. So that's why I use them. So if you want to know how to create your own clear divider tabs, well, I have a playlist that shows you how to make them. I think I have, for Happy Planner Classic, so then the right measurements, because I tell you the measurements, and I think in all of them in millimeters as well as in inches, because I use inches when I go and measure stuff, because my mum, you know, we're back when we were in the Philippines, and of course Philippines uses US metrics, you know, in inches, and of course also as a dressmaker, as a fashion designer, she uses inches when she's, you know, creating and designing clothes. So, and plus I have a quilting ruler, because, you know, I sew little stuff as well. I've got the quilting ruler, my page trimmer, it's easier to see it in inches. So I do also have it in millimeters, measurements, if for those who want it. So in the description, I have the playlist, so you can make it into Pocket, A5, Happy Planner Classic. I show you how to make it using having the, what do you call them, the sticky note tabs. So these ones are quickly made, and so I need to make ones because the ones that I had in the past, I laminate the note tabs, the sticker tabs in between. So then then because at the moment they're getting wear, and bit of wear, and they're getting the little side tabs are getting a little bit worn out. Okay, so that is in the description, and they're my top videos. And so many people who find them goes, oh, I'm so glad you made this. And I do get they're a little bit longer because I'm quite pedantic of measure this and measure that, and then if you want this and you want that. So I show you step by step. If you don't know, or if you want to make your own clear divided tabs and just swap out whatever, if you want printed cardstock as well. Be creative, use your own imagination. You can even sandwich pretty photos in between, or like dried flowers. The creativity are endless, so that is there for you. Let's quickly have a look who uses clear divided tabs in their planner. Yes, absolutely. Yes, can't live without my divided tabs. I love it. Yes, Erica. Hello, Erica. You snuck in. When did you sneak in? Did I miss you? Oh, as you just popped in. Erica is one of my wonderful regular plannerettes. Marianne, did you laminate those sheets, or were they sturdy enough to just punch and go right to using it? As in the envelope? The envelope one? So these ones, the laminating sheets, yes, I have to run. Yeah, they're too floppy. And I mean, unless you get, thicker microns, but yeah, no, you need to run them through the laminating machine, or else, see, whoop, they're floppy. They're floppy. So that's how they are before heated. This is the matte one. And then, look, okay, they're sturdy. Okay, and the same with the clear finish as well. But if you want to get the envelope, document envelope, they're still a bit floppy, but because they're in between the sheets, they don't need to be sturdy. But what I found is, depending on the thickness of the clear document envelope that you buy, like it might curl around the corners. But I don't have. Do I have them? Let me see if I have them. So this is my A5. Yeah. So these are clear envelopes. See how they're not too bad actually. So they warp a little bit. So these are the clear document envelopes that I showed you. So a little bit thinner, but they still work. See? Because I saw them and I went, oh, okay. And then you can buy like for a pack of 10. They're quite cheap. And then so that's how I made these divided tabs. Okay, using document envelopes. So that's one. You can use matte ones, so if you want that cloudy effect. But yeah, so, or you can, sandwich something in between if you want little stickers. Now just make sure, do not sandwich any labels that you have made. Make the labels after, because if you laminate it with the heat printed label maker, it'll just go black. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Put the labels after if you are using a heat printed label maker. Okay. Oh, let's have a look. My office was trashing those old binding machine plus supplies, so I took all the click covers from them and cut them down and added adhesive. Brilliant. I love that. Yes, I know because we live in an apartment block that also has on the bottom of the outside like office spaces, and we find the reception desk people would go, do you want these document envelopes or these binders? And I went, yes, which came in perfect for our homeschooling. So I love that. I took the black backing sheets too, intending to make a divider too, but the adhesive tabs won't stick to them. I saw someone somewhere took Dollar Tree frosty placemats. Yes, I remember. I think it was Robin a few live streams ago. She said Dollar Tree has, yeah, frosty placemats and cut them to make dividers. So yeah, hello Kokoro. Kokoro. I tried to see if I could say Kokoro in the right intonation. How are you? Yes, use clear dividers. I love it. Yes, so really a great way to get to your most used pages a lot. Yes, I snuck in while eavesdropping as I was being a tornado in the kitchen, cleaning us. Yes, for those of you who are new to my channel, I have become the company while you're cleaning up. So keeping you company while a lot of my plannerettes are cleaning up in the background. Laurie says, I understand because my son was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I hope I said that correctly, when he was in middle school and there was no resources in our area. So I had to homeschooling. Yeah, these are the things we got to go and do as Mama Bear. Now I know the name, right? As Mama Bear, where we have to do our the best for our loved ones, for our little ones, because yeah, I couldn't have any more, because at the time when he was at early school years, grade, for you guys, elementary school, primary school years here. I was working full time and my husband was working part time at home, and then would do the school pickups. And then, I'd get rung pretty much when it started to be, when I'd get the phone calls at work and just saying, no, not to worry you, there's no emergencies, but it's because I said, make sure you let me know when these things are happening, because I don't want to be later when I come home and find out maybe I could have done something, or I could have said something to help my husband and help support him emotionally. So he said, he'll call me and goes, not to worry you, but something's happened at school. He broke something, or he might have hit someone, or whatever it was. And so, they've asked me to pick him up. And so when that was happening more and more, I just didn't want him to have majority of his day either being taken away from the other children, not locked up. He wasn't being locked up, but he sat with the principal at the principal's office and being confined in a room, not knowing what's happening. I get anxious when I'm in the freaking principal's room, right? Back when I was at school. And I think I'm typical, and neurotypical for most part. And so imagine for my little one. And then I went, no, I can't do that to him, where he's not knowing what his day's going to be like, and so many things changing. So yeah, that's when we homeschooling. So yeah, I understand you as well, Laurie, with that one. So I appreciate you sharing that with me and the other plannerettes as well. So yep, I have a playlist, like I said, check it out. Let's now have a look. Okay, there's there. And then I also show you how you can make pockets, like A5 pockets or little pockets that you can put, cards or pretty little things in your planner. So that is all in the do-it-yourself, how to make these clear divider tabs and things with your laminating sheets. All right, so okay, where are we? Migrating and refocus. Okay, so wherever you are in your mid-month check-in, whether it's goals, whether it's habits, whether it's tasks, if you have any goals or tasks, that's been sitting unfinished. So I know I've got lots of things that I moved from week in, week out, same thing over and over again. If you've got unfinished tasks all month, ask yourself, does it matter? Does it still matter? Or does it matter right now? Okay, so if yes, it still matters, then move it on. So if any of these habits that I have, that I look at and go, you know what, I wasn't actioning it, I wasn't consistent for the first half, how important is it for the moment? Do I need to carry it for the rest of the last 2 weeks of the month? Or can I, leave it for the moment so then I can focus more on the things that matter? So migrate it, so move it to the next week, to the next day, and keep it going and adjust, right? Just the way I'm going to adjust a few of these things. Let it adjust to suit your current capacity and energy. And then, of course, if it doesn't matter at this stage or season, let it go. Put it on another list that you can revisit maybe in January, maybe in November or December. Letting go of tasks that no longer is aligned for the moment is going to create space and give you more clarity. One of the analogies, if you hang around me, you'll get to know I love analogies, right? Is, you know how if you have a VIP event, okay, there's names on the list, and you've got the person, the host of the list, and go just to check, are you an invitee? I was like, okay. Or if you have weddings or you have parties and you have to have head counts, and at weddings, per head costs money because you have to have the food, right? So you're not going to invite someone that is not important, because they're taking up space in the VIP room. They're taking up space during an important event. It's the same way when it comes to goals, tasks, or to-dos that are not high priority at the moment. Maybe later they could be part of your guest list, okay? So think of these guest lists as your goals, habits, and routines, right? Why are they taking up space at the moment when they don't contribute, when they don't matter at the moment? It's the same way with your goals. Don't let it take up space, and then it takes away your energy and your focus from the other things that matter a little bit more at the moment, okay? So if there are things that's not high priority, move it along. Maybe do it next month, or let go of tasks that no longer is giving you that mental space, that physical space, that emotional and well-being space. And that is what's called intentional planning. We're not just planning because, well, there's space in our planner, so we better write it down. Well, let's go write down self-care, and then we don't do it, okay? Be intentional. Only create space. Only allow the VIPs into your world, into your planning system, that will go and create calm, clarity, and fun, okay? So really important. Now, of course, if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do, just the same way as all my other lovely plannerettes that's in here. Let's have a look. The emphasis is on the first syllable, ko, and the koro. I think I did listen to, on YouTube on how to pronounce it. So please forgive me if I say it incorrectly. Hey, if you can, go into my Instagram, do a little voice message, so then I go, because I love saying people's name properly. Because for Mariane, sometimes I'll go, Marianne, Marian, or Mariane, right? So let me know if you want to share, of course. Really important. I don't know. Let me quickly go back to the chat. I don't know how it happened, but I finally fell in love with not migrating tasks. Lol, it feels so liberating now, overjoying. Yeah, exactly. It's so important that, why are we carrying things over and over and over again that we just look at and then just make us feel bad that we haven't actioned them? So really important. I love that for you. Irene says, I purchased your Ultimate Planner bundle. Am I using the wrong paper, or are some of the pages in a light gray color ink? It should be all, just double check your printer setting, because this one here that I have, let's quickly have a look. Let me take this. Okay, so this is actually very light, only because my printer ink is running low, and I think because I bought a non-branded ink, I have to recalibrate. But this is actually at a light setting, like light print, but it should be in normal as long as you you can either put it in high quality, but of course that'll use up more ink, but make sure it's not on draft setting. But this one is quite light at the moment, but again, the normal printing should be darker than mine, only because my printer is playing up on me, and it's not playing nice. It's the hue and the saturation of my colors are not. So no, it should be printing properly. If you've used the Ultimate Planner Bundle, please double check the print quality of that. Thank you, Irene. Let me know. Do reach out if it's still not working properly. Okay, so but yeah, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do, and make sure to hit that notify button. Okay, so some key takeaways. I know it's already over 2 hours. I can talk your ears off. Okay, so mid-month check-in is gonna keep your goals alive. Okay, so instead of being dead and not being action or not being consistent, checking in mid-month is going to allow you to see what's working, what's not, what things you need to adjust and pivot. Now, clear divided tabs or divide. I did print the weekly. The weekly should be fine. Yeah. So clear divided tabs or divided tabs are going to keep your goals and whatever habit planner pages you use visible and easily accessible. The HALT free webinar and then free printable. So HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Those type of check-ins is going to help you stay balanced before burnout hits. And so, like I said, the registration for that, I've just popped that again in the live chat, and it is also in the description. Make sure you register, so then if and when you can't attend live, you will have access to the replay, and I'll have that available for 7 days only, because it is part of my Plannerettes Inner Circle membership. I'm giving that for free because I've seen just in about a week and a half of us using it and being intentional, putting self-care go-tos. It's just like, oh, it's like a switch. It's like, oh, okay, I'm angry and I'm being catty or I'm being snappy because of this, because of that. What did I say I need to do when that happens? Okay, so hang on a tick. All right, so really important, register for the HALT check-in free webinar, and you will also get a free printable. That'll come to you a few days before the live Zoom session, and you'll get the link closer to the date as well. Okay, so, and at the end of that live is when I will open the doors to the Plannerettes Inner Circle membership. If you can attend it, because I will have a the early bird special only for when the live is on, while we're on the live, and then after that I've got a few different special prices for 24 or 48 hours. Okay, so really important. Now my question for you today is, what is one small tweak or habit? What's one small tweak or habit adjustment you're going to make for the rest of October? So for me, I'm going to move my 5-minute tidy up from the morning to the afternoon, so that I have something to look forward to and an easy task to action. And then for my movement, I'm going to be more specific on what day I'm going to do my the 3 workouts, as well as the time of day, because at the moment I'm just being general, 3 times a week. And then of course I'm not committed and I'm not being intentional. So I'm going to set an appointment with myself and say, oi, Marianne, it's 3:30, go do your workout, rather than, oh, whatever, right? So that is the small tweak that I'm making with my own habits. So let me know in the live chat. And of course, I ain't forgetting about you watching on the team replay. Pop it in the comments section. What is one small tweak or habit adjustment you are going to make for the rest of October? There's still 2 weeks. So many things can happen in the next 2 weeks, 14 days. Do you know they say, well, some studies have shown it's not really 21 days, but they say, it takes 21 days to form a habit. So that's nearly there. That's nearly halfway to making good, effective habits. stick. Okay, so let me know what's one small tweak or habit that you are making for the rest of October. So what's happening next week? Next week's live stream is we're going to prepare for November. Can you believe it? It's the end, nearly the end of the year. So make sure I'll try and get, let's see. So for those who are subscribers to my email, I will have the November. So the November, let's have a look. I'll show you the November free monthly cover page. So this is the October. Let me show you the October. So the October, and then you can decorate it. So November was NOV with November. So I'll have that to those who are subscribed to my email newsletter. Eat the frog. What's the eat the frog again? Irene, tell me what the eat the frog is. I know the do the hardest thing first. Let me know if I'm right. But so I'll quickly check the chat in a second. All right. So if this session, of course, helped you refocus, give this video a like, and just like Celia did, share. Is it Celia? Yes, shared it with Stephanie Joy. Make sure to like and share with a friend who might also need a mid-month reset. And all my planner inserts and stationery that I've shown you, I think all of them should be in the description. I've got my Amazon affiliate link storefront there. But ask me, because sometimes I forget to write things, and I'm like, Marianne, where do I get that? Where did you get that? Okay. Also included is if you just want to get the habit tracker or the goals tracker on its own, they can also you can also purchase them as standalone. And don't forget, of course, to subscribe so you don't miss out on our next planning session, which is we're going to prepare for November. So you get to see how I use the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable and how I set up my calendar, my habit tracker, and then also other live streams, how I use my Wellbeing Planner spread weekly and my daily planner pages. Okay, so here's to finishing October calm and clear and confidently aligned. Let's check in the chat. Eat the frog. Yes, as I thought, do the hard stuff first. Yes, if you've got lots of energy in the morning, try and do all your things. Don't take it up with mundane tasks like, answering or clearing your inbox, or do that for when your energy level or your cognitive thinking does not require brain power. And as Irene says, eat the frog first. All right. So now, please help me light up the screen with all your beautiful faces and your beautiful avatar and your lovely comments and parting words. Like I said, take care of yourself, look after yourself. Who's on top of the list? Why, that's you. Yeah, put yourself on top of that list, because I'll tell you what, self-care and taking a break shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be the top priority, because put your oxygen mask on first. You can't fill from an empty cup. All those things we've heard, yet we don't do, right? I don't do them all the time, because I think that, let me look after everybody else. Let me call Bob and make sure, I'm there for the appointment and the Zoom call. And yet we forget to make appointments with ourselves and be our own advocate and be our own friend. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I will see you in the comment section and see you next time. Bye.